My guy, you already have a computer and a good phone too. Why would you want to have another computer on the one you already have?
So that people know I'm a bowler, son. I can't keep letting Peter outshine me when we work the same job and make the same money. You know he'll be using one by the end of this month.
Money Evening News. Money Evening News.
In your financial indicators today, Monday, 7th November 2022, the United States dollar is buying at 16 kwacha 9 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 40 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 18 kwacha 25 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 60 ngwe. The Euro is buying at 16 kwacha and selling at 16 kwacha 32 ngwe. The South African Rand is buying at 89 ngwe and selling at 91 ngwe. Those are your financial indicators. The news headlines. Common market for Eastern and Southern Africa secures 425 million United States dollar funding for investment in renewable energy.
The RIF project, the $425 million project, and there are two entities which are involved in the implementation of the RIF. Of course, we are being supported by the World Bank, but in terms of implementation,
Zambia Development Agency receives possible investment pledges worth 19.9 million United States dollars from Botswana business community.
We also had Botswana businessmen coming through the ZAMBIA stamps to look for investment in Zambia. Out of that, had about $19,950,000 in terms of investment pledges.
Eskom says 19 billion rand concessional loan is a significant step for South Africa's transition towards clean energy. Zesco United interim coach notes lack of composure from his defenders. Hello and welcome to the Money Evening News on Money FM. I am Best Jerry. Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, says it has secured $425 million funding for investment in renewable energy Regional Infrastructure Finance Facility, RIFF, a World Bank financed project implemented jointly with Trade and Development Bank. In the RIFF brief, COMESA economist Energy Malama Chileshe notes from the fund, COMESA will get $10 million grant facility, while the Trade Development Bank will get $415 million credit facility. Mr. Chileshe says from the project, Trade and Development Bank credit facility has two components, one at $15 million meant for technical assistance.
project, and there are two entities which are involved in implementation of the RIF. Of course, we are being supported by the World Bank, but in terms of implementation, we have the Trade and Development Bank implementing one component, which is a $415 million component, and the component that the Trade and Development Bank are implementing is a credit component. And then we have another component which is being implemented by COMESA, which is the $10 million component. So the component that is being implemented by the Trade and Development Bank, it has two components in it. So there is one component which is $15 million component, and it is a component which is meant for technical assistance.
The REEF project is an investment financing facility project with funding from the World Bank to the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, and the Trade and Development Bank, TDB. Meanwhile, Rural Electrification Authority, REA, says 2022 grid extension projects are still under evaluation. Authority Corporate Affairs Manager Justin Mukosa tells Money FM News that the 14 new grid extension projects are still undergoing the evaluation process. Mr. Mukosa states that 70 million kwacha has been allocated for implementation of the project.
This year alone, they're supposed to spend about 70 million. That's on grid extension, new grid extension project. And there are only 14 of these. And what it is that these projects are still under evaluation. And as soon as the evaluation is concluded and bidders are written to, that's when we shall make final announcements that now we shall do the site handover, because now the projects have been awarded. But currently, the 2022 grid extension project area are still under evaluation. Until that process is concluded, that is when we are going to make our stand now known that, okay, these projects have been awarded.
Minister of Finance and National Planning has announced that in October 2022, government released a total of 13.9 billion kwacha to finance public service delivery. In a statement, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane says of this amount, implementation of various developmental projects, programs, and general operations amounted to 2.2 billion kwacha. Dr. Msokotwane notes transfers, subsidies, and social benefits received 6 billion kwacha. He says 1.4 billion kwacha went towards debt service and other liabilities, while 3.3 billion kwacha was spent on the public service wage bill. The minister adds that 1 billion kwacha was spent on capital expenditure such as roads and water and sanitation infrastructure. We take a short break. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
For business on the go, visit www.moneyfmzambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, says it has received possible investment pledges worth $19,950,000 United States dollars from Botswana business community at the just ended Global Expo held in Gaborone. ZDA market development specialist Tombo Zitembo says the agency received 122 inquiries of export and investment opportunities, of which 88 were inquiries on potential exports from Zambia to Botswana and 34 inquiries for investment in Zambia. Ms. Tembo notes that the investment pledges are coming from the manufacturing sector, the service sector, and agriculture sector. She reveals that there is export potential of over 6 million United States dollars between the two countries.
Botswana businessmen coming through the ZDA stamps to look for investment in Zambia. Out of that, had about $19,950 in terms of investment pledges. So these are the possible investment pledges that would take place, that would happen in Zambia if they come through to Zambia to be able to invest in Zambia. Then when we speak about the export potential in terms of the lead, we have over $6 million in terms of export leads. This is in the agriculture sector. Most of the products that the Botswana market is looking for is maize, soya beans, sunflower cake, wheat bran, maize bran, groundnuts, and beans.
Meanwhile, Zambia's acting High Commissioner to Botswana, Brighton Litula, has congratulated ZDA for performing well at the Global Expo by attracting significant trade and investment opportunities for Zambia. This is Money Evening News at 17:30. Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum, SADC-PF, says providing a platform for regional integration is a vision that is vital for African transformation agenda. Commenting on this year's parliamentary forum, which took place in Johannesburg, SADC PF Secretary General Boyomose Goma says the forum provides a timely opportunity for parliamentarians from SADC countries to engage with stakeholders, civil society, and various cooperating partners on various issues affecting the region and the African continent at large. Ms. Goma states that the policy dialogue provides the parliamentarians with the opportunity to engage stakeholders on how regions can leverage partnership and interagency collaboration for maximum legislative and policy impact.
So obviously the benefits are that you get to meet and interact, share experiences, take home some best practices. So it also really gives you an appreciation of what is happening up there, so that what is good for the country is that always.
Meanwhile, the Standing Committee on Democratization, Governance and Human Rights, Victor Lumai, notes that the importance of the forum for the parliamentarians is to seek and save the countries and the SADC region. Minister of Technology and Science, Minister of Technology and Science says Zambia experienced a 45% increase in international investments during the first 6 months of 2022. Felix Mutati states that to further support requirements of the world's leading investors, Zambia is now utilizing the best digital infrastructure with Microsoft's Azure Stack platform launched in LUSAKA earlier this year. Mr. Mtati also reveals that Smart Zambia Institute is training over 3,200 teachers in digital literacy, and laptops powered by the latest Intel Core processors are being made available to teachers through civil service loan agreements as part of an ongoing collaboration between his ministry and Ministry of Education. He further says government now plans to provide high-speed internet to rural schools through satellite services like Elon Musk's Starlink. Meanwhile, Mr. Mutati discloses that Zambia will host this year's Innovation Africa Summit, which will showcase projects from all across Zambia, as 20 young people are given the opportunity to demonstrate their innovations to the world. Still to come is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
National news. Money international news.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are still listening to Money Evening News and now international news. ESCOM board chairperson Mpho Makwana says the 9 billion rand concession loan approved for the repurposing of the Komati power station is a significant step for South Africa's transition towards clean energy. SA News reports the coal-fired power station was shut down last week after serving the South African public for at least 60 years, and it is said to become South Africa's first station to be repurposed into a renewable energy site. According to ESCOM, the loan will be guaranteed by National Treasury, with the repurposing project already approved by the ESCOM board. For more of such stories, join us for Africa Business Report at 0845 weekdays. Business Secretary Grant Shapps has hinted that the government may extend the windfall tax on oil and gas companies in this month's autumn budget as it tries to stabilize the United Kingdom's public finances. Speaking to Sky News with just 10 days to go before the government's fiscal plans are unveiled, Mr. Shapps says he means it is the case that because fuel prices have been so high, there have been unexpected profits, of course. He adds that the general public will have to wait until the 17th to know exactly which measures the government is going to pursue to tackle what the Resolution Foundation think tank has said is a £40 billion financial black hole. For more such stories, join us for Global Business Report at 1750 weekdays. This is the Money Evening News at 1730.
Money Sports News. Money Sports News.
In sports news, Ndola-based Super League side Zesco United Football Club coach says he has noted that his side lacked composure in defense when they came up against Buetcon Football Club. Zesco United beat Buetcon Football Club 3-2 in the Ndola debut at the Levi Mwana Wasa Stadium. Alfred Lupia has described the match as a very tough match because Alfred Rupia has described the match as a very tough match because Buetcon is a threat to any team as they have a good side despite the current bad patch the team is passing through. Lupia says despite Zesco United winning the match, the team did not play well as they made a lot of basic mistakes that destabilized their play. The standing coach was however happy that his team managed to collect maximum points against a confident side like Buetcon. And Buetcon head coach Nchimunya Mwetwa was impressed by his side's performance despite the defeat. Mwetwa admitted that it was a difficulty to lose in a competitive debut where his team gave their best to collect 4 points. Southampton has sacked manager Ralph Hasenhout after slumping into the Premier League relegation zone following a dismissal 4-1 defeat against Newcastle. France 24 reports the South Coast club swung the axe after their 8th loss in 14 league games on Sunday left them languishing in 18th place. The Austrian took over from Mark Huffs nearly 4 years ago, and his highest finish in the Premier League was 11th in the 2019-2020 season. According to France 24, he also led Southampton to the FA Cup semi-finals in the following season. As we end the news, we look at the headlines once again. The news headlines. Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa secures $425 million funding for investment in renewable energy.
$1 project, and there are two entities which are involved in the implementation of the RIP. Of course, we are being supported by the World Bank, but
Eskom says 9 billion rand concessional loan is a significant step for South Africa's transition towards clean energy. Zesco United interim coach notes lack of composure from his defenders. For these stories and more, be sure to visit our website on www.manfmzambia.com. Follow us on Facebook, ManFM Zambia, on Twitter and Instagram, ManFM Zambia. You can also download our ManFM app from App Store and Google Play Store. And for marketing, contact us on +26096786540 or 0211252237. Thank you for listening to Money Evening News. I am Best Jerry. Good evening. This is Money FM.
Money Evening News. Money Evening News. Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
Pollution curbs lifted in Indian capital, although air quality is still very poor. iPhone shipment delayed over China COVID lockdowns. Musk pledges to remove Twitter imposters after celebrity protests.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
It is 17:53 Central African Time, and a warm welcome to Global Business Report, Monday edition with me, Best Jerry. Primary schools will reopen in India's capital, New Delhi, this week, and curbs will be lifted on certain construction activities, authorities have said, after pollution levels improved to the very poor category from severe. Reuters reports residents in the capital have been waking up in recent weeks to hazy mornings with the sky a shade of grey. A thick layer of smog envelops the city in winter as cold, heavy air traps construction dust, vehicle emissions, and smoke from crop stubble burning in neighboring states, causing a surge in respiratory illnesses among its 20 million people. United Kingdom Business Secretary Grant Shapps has hinted that the government may extend the windfall tax on oil and gas companies in this month's autumn budget as it tries to stabilize the United Kingdom's public finances. Speaking to Sky News with just 10 days to go before the government's fiscal plans are unveiled, Mr. Shapps says he means it is the case that because of fuel prices have been so high, there have been unexpected profits. He adds that the general public will have to await until the 17th to know exactly which measures the government is going to pursue to tackle what the Resolution Foundation think tank has said is a £40 billion financial black hole. We take a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
Welcome back. Apple has warned shoppers to expect delays in receiving its products after a strict COVID lockdown forced the world's largest iPhone factory to shut. BBC reports the tech giant says its assembly plant in Zhengzhou, China, is now operating at a significantly reduced capacity. Officials locked down the district that is home to the factory run by Foxconn on 2nd November for 7 days. It comes as China continues to target zero COVID using lockdowns to tackle even minor outbreaks. Elon Musk has said he will remove Twitter accounts that impersonate others amid a backlash over the billionaire's decision to offer the platform's blue checkmark to all users for a monthly fee. Musk says that any accounts engaging in impersonation will be permanently suspended after some high-profile accounts changed their name to Elon Musk to protest the Tesla CEO's shake-up of the platform's verifications standard. Musk tweeted later that widespread verification would democratize journalism and give voice to the public.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
Money 93.7 FM, your business radio.
Thank you so much, all,
There's a quote
for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe. Tomorrow at the same time. God bless you. Have a pleasant evening, morning, depending on your time zone. Bye-bye.
Your destiny is basically